you set out all those standards in the beginning, and then the commissioning agent works with the design team all the way through the process, making sure that that happens. So it's quality control for all intents and purposes for buildings, and it's much more common now, but it's not common on a small project like this, you know. And we're, you know, I think small enough and integrated enough here to be able to provide that service to Marty for a reasonable cost and get the most value out of it for a smaller project.
We've had constant meetings. It's really interesting. Walter has shepherded this project for me, and I've never seen this happen like this. Because everybody comes in and we sit down and we talk about it, and all these ideas bounce around, and you start changing things that you thought you were going to do, and you maybe subtract some, you add some, but it all adds to the whole project and the value of the project, and it's really been a great way to do a project. I didn't think I was going to be that involved in the project, but everybody has been involved in it. It's really been a very unique way of doing it.
You have to talk both ways.
Oh, sorry.
Yes.
I'm sorry.
Could you repeat it from the start?
Yes.
We're videotaping, so you
That's
can
right.
get that.
Today, Walt and I were speaking about this event, and I wanted to talk about this concept of shades of green. You know, there's a kind of a misconception that either you have a green project or you don't. And that's a terrible misconception, really, in my view. There are definitely shades of green, and in my view, any shade of green is better than nothing at all. So, in other words, if you've improved the energy performance of your project, your home, your office, as part of your construction project, that's a shade of green. In fact, I would say that's the place to begin, because energy performance always pays back. Always puts green in your pocket along with doing right by, you know, the planet. So energy efficiency is a good place to start. Healthy indoor environmental quality. Very inexpensive, using low odor, low VOC, less toxic products. No-brainer, makes complete sense. Another shade of green. Okay? You know, so, but I hear this very often, you know, well, I don't know if I want to go green or not. So please understand there are many, many gradations, many shades of green, and for each project, and this is the idea of the LEED program, is that for each project you figure out what are the green priorities, what makes the most sense, what is the low-hanging fruit for that particular project. In other words, what is the most cost-effective, relatively easy way to achieve these green goals on a particular project. Usually that means energy efficiency and healthy indoor environmental quality, almost always.
Yeah.
But please understand again, there are many gradations here. It's not green or not.
But we made everything we've chosen to do has been an intelligent, informed choice because of the whole team. So it's not like we said, well, this is what we do. And usually I'm like, oh, that's what we do. These guys gave you all these ideas, and then we just kind of picked and choose what made economic sense for us, what we got the biggest bang for the buck. And it just has been amazing to see that you have all these choices out there that you really didn't know beforehand. So, you know, it's something that you look at and you decide what works for you. When you do a project, you just decide what makes economic sense for you.
And obviously, there's a level of commitment here to share this with folks like you. While the walls are still open, you can still get a look behind the scenes. Because when you come in at the end of the project, it may not look much different than a typical construction project, and we wanted you to have the insights, so we have an idea of some of the materials being used well before we're done.
So I don't know if we want to keep talking, but I thought, you know, we could have individual conversations, because all the subcontractors are here, and, you know, we can, if you want to talk to somebody about something in particular, you know, we'd like to welcome to do that. I mean, we don't have to feel, you know, like you have to talk in front of an audience or what you feel like doing. I don't know what else you guys want to do.
Questions?
Questions?
We do have, just so you know, we have tables set up with some of the subcontractors, so Commercial Electric and Perfection, so please.
Why don't we give them their moment in the sun?
Yeah.
A little more formally. So why don't we, Rich, you want to do that? You want to announce who our subcontractors are?
Yeah. Sure, this is our electric from Commercial. He doesn't want to
Commercial
talk.
Electric?
Yeah.
Not big.
Antonio. They're doing all the HVAC systems for us.
And is that it?
Paul Shaskin, my friend Paul Shaskin is here. He works for Amerlux. Amerlux is an amazing company. They are a lighting manufacturer in Fairfield, which is, to me, having a manufacturer, a leading green manufacturer here in New Jersey, and he's providing all our LED lights and everything. It's amazing that we're sourcing, and that's part of sustainability, sourcing it within, 100 miles or less, or whatever. And so he's cooperating with us, and he's been a real asset to this whole project.
And there's a sample.
The lights aren't delivered yet, Marty, so.
We have an example of that over there.
There's an LED track light alongside one of the regular incandescents, so you can get a
Pretty cool.
sense that it's very
Pretty cool.
The Amerlux fixtures are really a very high-quality retail fixture. And, Marty's store, he's renovating it for the long haul. And the LEDs are also very energy efficient. And it's kind of a step into the future, but it's not a reach into the future, right? Because Amerlux has kind of perfected the coloration and the lighting levels that a lot of other manufacturers are still kind of struggling with. And so, like Marty said, they're right here in Fairfield. Marty had a relationship with them, and they've actually supported us in doing all the lighting design for the whole project. So that was a huge contribution that they made. Normally, on a larger scale project, you would have a mechanical engineer and electrical engineer involved. We basically did this project with the mechanical contractor, Antonio, with the commissioning agent's help, and Amerlux, the lighting manufacturer, to do the lighting design. So they did all the lighting calculations. They figured out how many watts per square foot are going into the space. They helped us come up with the number that we're going to submit to New Jersey Smart Start to get incentives for the project. And same thing with Antonio's work. So there's a program in New Jersey called New Jersey Smart Start that pays to upgrade your systems to higher efficiency. So, for example, the air conditioning systems, we're getting almost $1,000 back from Smart Start for that. And then for the lighting, it's about $1,000. And then we're looking at a couple other possibilities. So we may get between $2,500 and $3,000 in incentives to support that commitment to higher efficiency equipment.
And someone else is here. Millie from PNC Bank is here. And Millie is my banker, and she got us a loan from PNC Bank. It's a green incentives loan, which lowered the rate of the loan as well as lowered the closing costs. So just by doing business with a bank that supports green innovations, you save money. So it's really, it's a great win-win for all of us. So I thank you guys for supporting us.
PNC is a worldwide leader. They actually have more LEED certified buildings than any other company in the world, so they live those values as well.
And USGBC is here, and they just located their headquarters here in Morristown, so I think that's worth making note of. Florence Box.
She had to leave.
Okay, so Florence was here earlier, and she was kind of talking with everybody, but now they're at 14 Maple, right here in Morristown. So USGBC makes a big difference. They kind of help make all these things possible as far as understanding what LEED is for everyone. I'm a LEED accredited professional. LEED accredited professionals at Green Street, and then they also have something called Green Advantage Training, which is the contractor's version of the designer's version of a LEED accredited professional. So, we all go to school and learn all this stuff, and then we apply it to make it work for folks like Marty.
I'd just like to tell a quick story about, to make the point about integration. Because I think we've talked about this to some degree.
To that subject.
You can see it's really near and dear to my heart. But this is a true story. This amazing project. It was actually videotaped. This is about 5 or 6 years ago, when they were in Pennsylvania. They were building their new Department of Environmental Protection building. It was at that time it was really a state-of-the-art green project, and they did it in this integrated fashion. They had all the stakeholders at the table during the design process, and at one point in time, the designer said to himself, "Gee, But I'm sorry, it was the lighting designer. He said, gee, I wonder what would happen to our lighting requirements for this project if we tuned up the brightness of the paint throughout the interior of the space. Because it turned out that for one reason or another they were choosing dark colors for the paint. And so the lighting designer, when they considered like using white and other bright colors, went back and remodeled the lighting requirements and found out that they could